For decades, I've hunted the worst of the worst, and I've learned one thing is for certain: evil doesn't always wear a mask or announce itself with a manifesto. Sometimes the real danger isn't the person with scary beliefs you see on the news. It's the quiet predator with a history of violence who knows how to hurt people and gets away with it. We spend too much time worrying about what people think and not enough time focusing on what they do. A person with a violent past, who controls others through fear and intimidation, is a ticking time bomb. These are the individuals who orchestrate harm. They lead criminal networks. They pose a direct threat to our families and communities. We need to shift our focus. Law enforcement has to prioritize repeat violent offenders. They are the puppet masters pulling the strings. It's not just about the person who throws the punch. It's about the person who ordered it. We need to map these networks of violence. By targeting these key players, we can dismantle entire criminal enterprises. Every parent's worst nightmare is their child being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But what if that place was designed to be dangerous? I call these places spawn traps. These are environments deliberately set up to put our children in harm's way. Think about a school bus stop on a busy road with no sidewalk. Kids are forced to wait on a narrow strip of grass next to speeding traffic. Who decided that was a safe spot? Why isn't there a paved, protected area for them to stand? These aren't accidents. They are failures of planning and protection. And sometimes, they are more sinister. These spawn traps are a critical piece of the puzzle in preventing violence and solving crimes. When a child goes missing or is harmed near one of these locations, we have to ask why that spot was so dangerous. Was it an oversight, or was it a staged environment? Look for the signs. No sidewalks. Stay off the grass rules. Reports of loose, aggressive dogs. These details can tell you if a predator scouted that location. Protecting our kids means auditing our communities for these hazards and fixing them immediately. In my years of chasing fugitives, I've seen how deception is a criminal's greatest tool. One of the most dangerous forms of deception is the anonymous 911 call. Someone calls in a report, a suspicious person, a welfare check, a minor disturbance. They pretend to be a concerned citizen, but too often that anonymous caller is the perpetrator. They use our emergency systems as a weapon to create a distraction, to establish an alibi, to harass and terrorize a victim. When a wrongful death or serious harassment occurs, investigators must ask, who made the call? That anonymous caller should be a primary person of interest. Use voice analysis technology and track the call's origin. Look for patterns. Is this the same anonymous voice calling this address before? Does the caller's story have holes? This pattern extends beyond murder. It's used in harassment campaigns and to trigger misconduct. Build safeguards into our emergency response systems. Invest in tech to identify repeat anonymous callers and flag them. Train dispatchers and first responders to spot staged calls. Hold people accountable for misusing 911. Filing a false report is a crime. When it's part of a scheme to commit violence or cover up murder, it's pure evil. By treating every anonymous call in a serious investigation with suspicion, we can turn the predator's own weapon against them and get justice for the victims they targeted. Some crimes are more than just crimes. They are attacks on our entire society. Racist threats that call for violence or slavery fall into this category. These are not just words. They are acts of terror designed to intimidate families, scare children, destabilize communities. When someone uses this kind of language, especially when it's directed at children, it must be treated as a top-tier priority for law enforcement. This isn't about policing offensive speech. It's about stopping violent acts before they happen. Criminals are creatures of habit. They use the same tricks, the same locations, the same methods. By mapping out incidents of group violence, analyzing 911 call logs for repeat anonymous callers, and auditing our neighborhoods for those dangerous spawn traps, we can start to see the bigger picture. We can connect the dots between a staged crime scene and a network of violent offenders. We can see how a series of seemingly unrelated harassment calls might actually be part of a coordinated campaign of terror. First, we map the violence networks to identify and target the ringleaders. Second, we conduct spawn trap audits to protect our children and eliminate the predator's hunting grounds. Third, we scrutinize anonymous callers, treating them as suspects to uncover deception. Finally, we implement tech safeguards to help us detect these patterns. This is how we solve the unsolvable cold cases. We go back and look at them with fresh eyes, applying these principles. Who made the 911 call in that decades-old murder? Was the location where the victim was found a known spawn trap? Was the victim being targeted by a group known for violence? By asking these questions, we can breathe new life into dormant investigations and finally bring closure to grieving families. This is how we stop violence, protect our kids, and build safer communities for everyone.